Hey, what's going on? This is John Meisberg, and today I want to show you how you could create a Crossroads interactive video. So here is an example of what that looks like.
Hey, can you help me book a flight? My wife and I are celebrating our 10th anniversary. We never got a chance to take a honeymoon, so we're hoping to have a luxurious flight experience. The trip will be from Seattle, Washington to Oahu, Hawaii. It'll be 2 weeks long, and I am flexible on the exact dates. I'm not a huge fan of flying, so I prefer a shorter flight duration.
All right, so we're at a crossroads. So it says here, okay, using Expedia.com, what filters would you select to find an appropriate flight for this traveler? So say the agent searches for the flight, and then based on what the traveler in the video said they were interested in, maybe you ensure that select the right filter. So we want a first class flight. We want it to be non-stop. Look at the flexible dates. So this is the correct answer. Let me show you what happens if you select the incorrect answer.
We're close, but I feel like this isn't quite the flight for me. Perhaps you can try again.
And then we click here to try again. And, I could pick another one. It would do the same thing. Or I pick the correct answer and it.
Wonderful. Thanks for helping me find the perfect flight. I'm so excited for our honeymoon now. Thanks again.
There we go. So you can see here that you can have a traveler ask the agent a question, and then based on that agent's answer, the traveler can provide a specific response depending on what the agent selects. So let me show you real quick how I went about making this. So we're in talks right now to get this tool Synthesia, which allows you to create AI video really quickly. But just for this prototype, what I did is I used their free sample section a few times with some temporary emails, and I just generated the scenario, the scenario script, and then I generated like a correct response and a incorrect response, right? So I took those video files, and normally you wouldn't have to do this. You could just create the whole thing in Synthesia and output it, and you'd have your video. It also gives you caption file too, which is nice. What I did is I just put those 4 sample files here, and I ended up masking out poorly, by the way, the background and just centered him. And something that I found is important for creating these videos is to put the incorrect response before the correct response. So let me just show you how this works. To get started, we're going to be using H5P, and we're going to be using a program called Lumi that allows you to view and edit and create H5P. So we're going, once you've installed Lumi and you open it, we're going to click Start on the H5P editor. And I've already got this project here, but what you would do is you would add a video. So right here, I've clicked here and I've added the video file that I had. And afterwards, you give it a title here. And then afterwards, you click on Add Interactions, and you find where the crossroads question to appear. So for me, it's like right after the scenario was stated, right? So here it is. And so I selected crossroads, and it'll appear like this. So for the display time, I keep it whatever time I've paused it at. I also put that as not just the start time, but the end time as well, so that it's not staying on the screen any longer than I want it to. And then I make sure that the pause video option is checked so that it'll stop there. And so then we say, here's the question, and then here are some possible responses that agents can select. Here I have 3 of them, and you'll see that If they select the incorrect response, it's going to go to 28 seconds here, 28 seconds here. And let's just look at those first. So like you can see here, it's the incorrect response is 1 second after my question, right? So 27, 28, here's the incorrect response, right? So this will play back, and then after you hear the incorrect response, I've just created another crossroads. I mean, it's not a crossroad, but I've used the crossroad feature again after the incorrect feedback to then just say, hey, click here to try again. And when you click on this, it just jumps back to the first crossroads using that time code. And I'll show you. You click edit. You see it jumps back to 27 seconds. So it's just jumping right before the first one pops up. So that's how I've structured this. And then for the correct answer, it's jumping to 36 seconds. And you can see that here. It's 1 second after this go back and try again feedback right here. There you go. And that's pretty much it. One thing else I can call out is that you can upload subtitles right here as a WebVTT file, which you can download from Synthesia, or if you are using some other program, you can generate them however you want. I personally like to generate captions. I mean, if I had access to Synthesia, I would just generate them automatically, but since I don't, if I have to do them manually, I like to use a program called Subtitle Edit. It's really easy to use. You just drop your video in here, and then you click on this Create tab, and then you put your mouse cursor somewhere in the WAV file, and you hit spacebar.
We're close.
And you can, let's start at the beginning so I can show you. Like,
hey, can you help me book a flight?
Yeah, so it says, hey, can you help me book a flight? So like you click the beginning of where that's going to be, and you click Insert New Subtitle at the video position, and it'll create this like translucent box over it, and you just paste in the text that you want there, right? You just paste it in, and then these are like draggable, so you can say where you want them to start and stop. And that's pretty much it. You just go through it and drop them in. It's a very quick process, and then you just file, save as, WebVTT. Just call it like captions or whatever. So you just add it there. So yeah, when you're done with this, you would just go to File, Export, save it as an all-in-one HTML file, hit Export now, and save it to a folder, not just like anywhere, but like create a specific folder for it. So I wrote like Rise HTML, and I put that HTML file inside that folder, and I'll show you why that's important. So then like inside of Articulate Storyline, what I do is I go to Insert, Web Object, and then I find the folder. Okay, and I select it, and then that will load. And so the reason why I create a folder just for that HTML file is because if you try to insert a web object and the HTML file is inside of like a project folder with a bunch of other stuff, I think it can like mess up your import process. Like Storyline does not like that. So it's good to just keep it as isolated as possible. All right, so then you just click OK, and then come up here, Home, Publish, Review 360, give it a title. I've already done it, and then hit Publish. And so once you've done that, so I'm in Articulate Rise, and what I've done is, you just click on all blocks, interactive, storyline, browse Review 360, and select your learning experience that you've created. And I do the medium size and I turn off the padding. And I even been thinking about just using a white background. It looks pretty good. And you can see here I actually have some instructions above as well. That's helpful for the learner who's like, what do I do? I've never seen a play button. But it's this click play to learn how you can help the traveler book a flight, then follow the prompts that appear. I think it's sufficient. So that's pretty much it. This would be really helpful for scenario-based learning where you're practicing supporting travelers. All right, so if you have any other questions about how to do this, feel free to reach out to me on Slack in the channel mo-brownbag. Again, my name's John Meisberg, and thanks for watching.